Hey guys, I'm doing the 8.8 traction lock for the LTD LX, so I thought I'd show you what I was up to. I first put it together. I used the I guess it's factory one, I think, only it's modified. The factory one has got 3 frictions and 4 steels. We got rid of the got an extra steel in it and didn't have a shim. And that was using a smooth friction, which is a regular friction plate with all the stuff taken off. And then we had a Cobra friction, which is one of these, an actual setup for, I think they called it a Cobra Kevlar clutch pack. I've had these forever, been sitting in a box, so I figured I'd use them. And then the other friction was a old friction, which is this. It's got a little material left on it, but it's smooth. And I should point out too that if you're going to use one of these, the way they come from the factory, you see that lip right there? That's usually where it rides around the side gear, like so it doesn't engage the whole thing. So if you do use these, try to trim that off first so it doesn't, because once that wears that down, then you're gonna have some slop in your pack. So with those, I got a 660 stack, which turned in fine. The factory spec is to have 640 to 645. But I could turn that in, that 660 stack, but I had to tap on the side gear to kind of walk it in. Then I remembered the other way, the alternate method, is to use 4 frictions and 4 steels, and using 2 Cobra frictions and 1 smooth friction, or 2 Cobra frictions and 2. That got me a stack of 653. That was having 4 steels also. So I got 4 frictions, 4 steels, and I got 653. So that should turn in a little easier. And this is a 28 spline carrier that came out of the whole rear end. I'm going to put the whole rear end and I'm going to swap the whole works. Right now it's got a 410 with, I think it's an Auburn differential and a C-clip eliminator axles in it. So I'm going to take that out, and then I'll save that for another car, maybe the Dugan. But I'll take and replace the Auburn with an actual 31 spline to get rid of that Auburn. The reason being, it makes noise. I don't know, it sat for a while, and when I had the engine out, and it just doesn't work right. It makes a lot of racket going around corners, so I'm going to get rid of it. And I've got the C-clip axles. Those are going to LTD. I figured with the automatic it should be all right. I shouldn't be, not like hitting it with a stick and a 6,000 RPM dumps on it. It should be fine. And I'm going to run that in there. I'm going to a 373 gear too, because it's already set up, and like I said, I have it. I looked at my old logs. I didn't see a definitive number that it picked up when I put the 410s in on the LTD versus when it had the 373s before that. So we're just going to run with it. The reason being, the computer that runs the transmission has a gear on the output shaft of the transmission that is 23 tooth, and it's just not enough to get the right number for the transmission controller. So the shifts are off a little bit. The speed number that it's showing is off, so it's just a little frustrating for me. So I'll just deal with it. If it is a little bit slower, I'm all right with it. I'm not worried about setting records with that, or trying to be super fast. It's a driver more than it is a race car, so I'll be all right with it. If it isn't, well, anything will be faster than it was before when I couldn't get the shifts down. But I'll get the shifts dialed in, and it'll be a lot better, I think. So speaking of 31 spline and 28 spline differences, this is a pin, a traction lock spring for a 31 spline, and this is for a 28 spline. You can see how much beefier the 31 spline is. The whole unit's a little more robust, and it's supposed to be like 25 or higher, some percent higher, stronger than a 28 spline. But like I said, in my instance, I should be fine with what I got. For reference to the steels, they were 80 to 85,000 stick. The Kevlar frictions were 99. The smooth frictions were 65 to 70, and the old frictions were 80. So like I said, they still have some life left in them. I'll hang on to them. Maybe put them in something else down the road. And same with the Cobras. I've got 2 left. I can use those for something down the road too. And I got a whole bunch of steels, and I got a bunch of shims. So we get all kinds of different combinations we can throw together. Oh, one last thing here. This is a head insert. It's called. It's made by Pioneer. I got these through Summit, but O'Reilly's carries Pioneer. So if you want to get one of those from O'Reilly's, if you need one, instead of buying a whole box, you can get them that number, PF 580-4. 4 is the number, so you can buy them singly. They're like $5. So just to share that with y'all. All right, fellas, that's it for this one. Appreciate y'all subscribing. Hope everyone had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. Later, guys.